Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday evening Facebook Live. My name is Sarah Edwards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I come to you guys live every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 to show you a fun new project. So hopefully you guys have had a great weekend and a great start to this week. I can't complain. I literally have been working like a crazy psycho, but other than that, I've had a pretty good, nice weekend. Today, I usually don't work outside of my studio on Tuesdays, but I did work today. So I got home a little after 3:30 and got the Facebook Live ready. And now I am in my pajamas, ready for bed after this because I actually have been working a lot and I'm exhausted. So hopefully you guys are relaxed and in your jammies, hopefully. We usually eat dinner before I go live, but the grill was giving Bo problems, so we are going to eat dinner after the live. So we are going to hurry through this live so I can eat dinner. I'm just kidding. We're not going to hurry, but I am hungry. I know we shouldn't complain about this weather because it is going to be 120 pretty soon. It comes way too quickly. But it is way too cold. Like, literally, it was 32 degrees when I took the dogs for a walk this morning. We almost didn't go because it was so cold. But hopefully you guys are staying warm. And, yeah, let's get crafting. So let me point you over. Good evening, Anna. If you're just logging on, say hi so I know you're here. I am just going to see if we are live on Facebook yet, and I think I see it. Yes. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I didn't realize that I had my volume up, so I totally apologize. So I wanted to do a kind of all-occasion gift card holder. It's a fun fold. I love fun folds, and I love gift cards, so why not combine them? The one that I am doing is more for Valentine's Day, and I'll show you a little bit more of that later. But you could really use any designer series paper you want to create this gift card. But I decided to use the gingham, the country gingham 6x6. I contemplated using the designer series paper, the 12x12. But I really liked the way this one turned out. Not that I wouldn't have liked that either. But that's what I went to first. So that's what we're using. It does have a coordinating punch to go with it and the ribbon. Unfortunately, these two are on back order, but we're not using them for this gift card. We're just going to use this designer series paper and the stamp set. So all of that is still available. So let me bring in the designer series paper. So this is the country gingham. You get 8 sheets of each design, which is amazing. I love that they gave us so much. So the one side is the nice pretty pastels and the other side is still pretty pastels, but they're just different colors. So that's what that side looks like. Let me flip it over. And then there is the back side. So there's lots of balmy blue, mint macaroon, and this side is sweet sorbet and I want to say blushing bride, petal pink. I was close. So it's petal pink and sweet sorbet and then mint macaroon and balmy blue. And if you're ever wondering what colors are in the paper pack, on the back of the kind of cardboard piece that comes with it, it does give you a description of the colors that are in there as well. So there's that. That's actually what we're using. But I wanted to bring in the other 12x12 designer series paper that matches it. We used this in card class last Saturday, and I'm sure we'll be using it again. But it's just absolutely phenomenal paper. It is, I love the bikes. We use the bikes on one of our cards. And these guys, actually, the punch will cut the heart, the leaves, and this little heart out at the bottom. So the punch is pretty cool. Unfortunately, it is on back order right now, so we can't order it. But once it comes back, it does cut out the designer series paper. We actually used this in card class as well, and everybody loved that they didn't have to fussy cut those. So let's pull that aside. Good evening, Valerie and Carol. Welcome. Okay, so let me bring in the card we're going to be doing. So this is my version of a fun, fancy fold gift card holder. So I did put the Happy Valentine's Day, and I actually went really not plain or generic, but I just wanted it to be very simple. Simple is a good word for it. So I just did our heart punches and I stamp the Happy Valentine's Day, and I just put a few of our little diamonds on the outside. But when you lift it up, you have a place for your gift card, and you still have plenty of room to write your sentiment here in the middle. You could always stamp one of our hearts on the side of it, so you didn't have to write so much if you wanted to. I just happen to have this gift card sitting at my desk, but usually you guys get this gift card. My little $5 Subway. Honestly, I still don't know if there's anything on it. I never go to Subway, so it just sits in my little pouch for my Facebook Lives. So this is what I'm going to show you guys how to make tonight. Let's see, who else logged on? I did hear, hello, Marie and Bonnie. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So we are going to cut from start to finish one of our cards. I did this for a reason, because I wanted to show you that it does take 2 pieces of 6x6 designer series paper. And I wanted to kind of show you how to cut them to get the most out of your paper. Sorry, I just have to make sure I didn't drop everything. So you will need 2 pieces of your 6x6 designer series paper. We'll set one aside and we'll just work with this one for now. So first I'm going to cut it at 4 inches. And then I'm going to flip this around and I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4. So you do have a little bit that you can save and use on another card. We will be using this piece. And then our next piece, we are going to cut it at 4 inches. And this is actually an extra piece, so definitely save it. It is a good size. And then we're going to flip it over and we're going to cut this in half at 3 inches. So these are the 3 pieces of designer series paper we're going to be using. You could definitely alter them a little bit to have different patterns, but I just wanted to keep the same pattern on my design anyway. So there, I did put this in the description before we went live. So this one is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and we have 2 pieces that are 4 inches by 3 inches. So I'm going to set those aside. And I'm going to bring in some of our matching cardstock. So I have 2 pieces. This piece right here is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this piece is 4 1/4 by 11. We're going to do a little bit of scoring on this before we get started. So let me bring in my scoring tool. Good evening, Darlene. Welcome. So I did prep 2 more to do after this one, so everything else is prepped and ready. So this is the only one that we're going to do from start to finish. So I have the 11-inch side up at the top, and we're going to score this at 3 1/4, 6 1/2, and 9 3/4. So you have 3 score marks on there. Oops. As I drop it, let me grab that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our score marks and we're going to give them a good crease. And it really doesn't matter at this point which way you're folding it. We will get it all figured out once we get everything done. So you do want this piece to go up and these pieces you want to go down. So this is how you're going to get your little mechanism. But before we do anything else, I wanted to bring in the dual heart punch. So this is a combo pack. So you get the scalloped heart and the regular non-scalloped hearts. And I know you're probably thinking, why is she going to punch out a heart out of the center of the piece we're going to be using? But I'll show you in a second. So you have your little, I think this is 1 1/4 inch at the bottom. So right above it, we're going to take our heart punch and we're going to punch a scallop out of it. And now we have our little mechanism that has a hole in the front of it. It's totally okay, I promise. I'm going to take one of our pieces of the 4 inch by 3 inch and I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of it. And I'm not going to go all over the designer series paper like I usually do. I'm just going to stay right close to the edge. And I'll show you why in 3.5 seconds. So when I lay this over the top of the heart that we just punched out, nobody is ever going to know that there's a piece missing. Just all of us on this Facebook Live. Pretty cool, huh? I didn't do that to save paper, honestly. When I was designing this, I didn't want to walk over to my scrap table to get a piece of scrap. And I was like, oh, I'll just cut it out of there. So I just grabbed any circle punch. It doesn't matter. You could even actually use your heart punches to punch a little notch in here. And it isn't even really necessary. You don't even have to do it if you don't want to. Because obviously they're going to see that there's a gift card in there. So I just went ahead and punched a little notch out. And I want to grab some tear and tape. I'm going to slide some tear and tape on the inside. And you definitely want to put your designer series paper on first before you do this step. Otherwise, you'll have to trim down your designer series paper for it to fit. And you could definitely do that as well. Now this, you're going to peel that off. And if there's any excess, just roll it over on itself. There we go. So there is part of our little mechanism. And I didn't tell you that you do need a piece of basic white, and it measures the same 4 inches by 3 inches. Good evening, Bev. Welcome. This one I'm going to put adhesive on the entire thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right in the center. Perfect. And then our last piece, same measurements, 3 by 4. Put some adhesive on, and this is going to go on top. So if you're just joining, we are doing a fun fold gift card holder. I love fun folds. I love gift cards, so why not combine them all? Good evening, Jill. Welcome. So here is our mechanism that has the heart punched out of the back. So now what we can do is flip this over, and I want to put some tear and tape on here. I think our green glue would definitely hold it, but this is pretty much the only thing that's holding this card together, and I want them to be able to open and close it a million times. So we are going to go overkill on adhesive. Okay, so now all that's done, I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to bring in our last 2 pieces. So our normal card base is 5.5 by 8.5, and I just chopped that in half. So this is 4.25 by 5.5, and I already cut in the beginning of our live. So this one, I'm going to put adhesive on the entire thing. We'll lay this down. There we go. That looks pretty even. Now we can bring this back in, peel off our tear and tape. You get lots of little pieces with this guy. And make sure it's going the right direction and you don't put it on upside down. That would never happen to any of us, right? Stand on your tippy toes and just use the little lines in the designer series paper to make sure it is even. There we go. Voila! There is your Fun Fold gift card. So for each non-traditional holiday, I like to send my kids $5 Starbucks gift cards. So I'm sure there's $5 on this one. So for Valentine's Day, I will definitely be sending them one of these as well. So here's the heart that we popped out of this behind this designer series paper. Literally, you can't even tell that we did that. I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on here and pop this up first before I stamp my sentiments. Peel that off. I'm going to put that right in the center. And now I'm going to bring in my scratch paper. I'm going to punch out a heart. Grab our sentiment and our ink. And Many of you guys know that I am not shy about cutting my stamps up, but this one, I actually wanted to leave it the way it is. I didn't want to cut it. So I wanted to show you how you can do this without cutting your stamp. So I'm going to bring in a piece of scratch paper, and I'm just going to hang it over just the edge a tiny bit. So I'm going to ink up the Happy Valentine's Day. The day shouldn't get on your heart, but I don't want it to get on my stamping surface. So I'm just going to line this up so it says Happy Valentine's. There we go. Now I'm going to ink this up again. I'm going to actually flip it over and grab some of my masking tape, and I'm just going to cover up the Happy Valentine's. Just want the day on there. So now I can come in and I'm going to line up the day as best as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. That's how easy that is to mask your stamp. And let's flip this over. The ink does dry pretty quickly, but I don't want to take the chance, so I'm just going to try not to touch the ink. Put this right in the center. But could you imagine doing this for a birthday? I think it is so fun and cute. You could do it for birthday, you could do it anniversary, you could do this for a wedding and put your gift certificate inside. Oh, possibilities are endless. So I'm just going to grab a couple rhinestones and just sprinkle a couple on. And you can use any rhinestones you want. There we go. Look how easy this was to put together, and it is definitely a fun fold. So your gift card goes right on the inside. You could also take a piece of your scrap. I don't think this one's quite big enough, but you could also put a piece of scrap right in the front of it. And I would do this before you punch out your circle so you could punch it out all at the same time. And if you wanted to take your last two pieces that we cut off of the designer series paper, you could layer them together to do your envelope. So I would put a little bit more adhesive than you need to because you're going to have to kind of butt these up together. So there's that. And it, oh, see, I didn't get enough red in the bottom. And honestly, I really don't even think that matters. I don't even think you would even be able to tell. So you can definitely use this for your envelope, the leftover piece. It's a smidgen too small, but I don't think anybody's really looking. And if they do, tough. Just kidding. So there you go. So there is your fun fold gift card and matching envelope. So I do have two more if we get a chance to put them all together. If not, we'll at least put one together. But I've already cut and scored everything, so it'll go together pretty quickly. So here is our card base per se. We'll go ahead and take this and glue it down. And you could change up your paper and do mint macaroon. So you don't have to do the sweet sorbet. There we go. Let's go ahead and fold on all of our score marks. There we go. This one can go backwards. Okay, that's exactly how we want it. But first, let's punch out our hearts. Let's add our first piece of designer series paper, and remember to just go on the edges, but if you forget and go all over, grab your silicone mat, lay this on so the glue won't stick to your surface. There we go. So if you do happen to glue the entire thing, it's not tragic and it's not going to hurt anything. Let's go ahead and grab our circle punch. Punch out a little notch. Find where we put the tear tape. That's probably the hardest thing I find is crafting, is remembering where you put something. And you literally say like a million times, I just had it and I can't find it. It's probably because it's stuck up underneath something. There we go. Good evening, Heather. Welcome. So there's that piece. Let's grab our basic whites. Let's put this right in the center. Oh no, that's a little smidgen too big. Well, good thing I have another piece. I apparently was not thinking when I put that piece. Voila. There we go. And let's grab our last designer series paper. I think I might need some more adhesive. This piece is going to go on top. And I think this would be beautiful for Easter as well. I love this gingham paper. Put some adhesive, some tear tape on the back. And again, I'm probably going over, well, I know I'm going overkill on the adhesive, but it's your card. You can put as much as you want on here. There we go. Now we can pull all of this off and put it on the card base because it's already glued together. Here we go. Pick this up, flip this around, make sure our card is going the right direction. And this one's actually really easy to line up because you just have to line up the lines. Here we go. And I will tell you, thanks Beth, I did do the first card that I did for tonight's live. I went ahead and glued this, stamped it and glued this down and then flipped it over like I usually do. And I didn't let the glue dry for more than like 1 second and this shifted a little bit. I was able to save it, but that's why I suggested in the beginning to glue this down first and then stamp your sentiments. And then you wouldn't have to wiggle it around. So let's glue this down. Let's bring in our little scratch paper and just hang over the edge. Grab our ink. Forgot the name of it. I'm gonna ink up the Sweet Sorbet. Come over here. Happy Valentine's. Perfect. Ink this up again. Flip it over. And you can always cut your stamps too if you want to. Put that down. And then we're just going to put day right there and hope for the best that it's in the center. And it is. Close that up. Flip it over. Add some adhesive, and voila, your card is done. Oh, besides our little rhinestones. We cannot forget the bling. I think Lucas will get a Starbucks gift card, even though he's too little to have anything there yet. But I got to keep the tradition going, so he's going to definitely get one of these. Oh, there we go. There are your cards for tonight. Hopefully you guys like them as much as I do. Just remember that you will need 2 pieces of your 6x6 designer series paper to put this card together. You can definitely use the 12x12 as well. If you wanted to be super savory on your designer series paper, you could cut one of these pieces out of the center of this piece. But honestly, I thought that was just way too much for our brains to cut a center piece out. But that is an option if you don't want to use 2 full sheets of designer series paper. You could cut a piece out of the center. But there you go. I thought they were super cute and completely different. I haven't done one of these in a while. And I actually have another fun gift card that I don't know if I'm going to do it on Thursday or if I'll wait to do it next week, but it's a double gift card holder. I did this years and years ago, and Cassie, actually, I was going through her cards that I've given her over the past, and I saw that, and I was like, ooh, I'm taking that back because I want to use that as an example. So if you're mailing 2 gift cards to one address, like I do for my kids and their husbands, you can add 2 gift cards into one card. So hopefully this week or next week, I will definitely get that together and do another live on that one. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's live. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out. I will be off Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I think my husband's driving to LA one of those days. So I am going to be a single lady in my craft room for like 15 hours straight. I am super duper excited. He literally just told me this like 5 minutes before I went live. I'm not excited at all. I'm very sad he's leaving for 15 hours. Very, very sad. Do you see the tears? But I am going to have an amazing time in the craft room. And if you need anything, I will be here, obviously, for 15 hours. Anyway, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. Card class is not until February 4th, and then February 18th is the card class after that. I actually have it stuck on my little board beside me, so that's what I was doing. Have a great evening, and I will see everybody on Thursday. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.